You know the exact feeling. Your stomach drops, your throat tightens, and that quiet voice inside your head says, "Wait, not yet. Maybe tomorrow." When you sit on the sidelines watching someone else effortlessly talk to the person you wanted to approach, it is easy to assume they possess a specific confidence gene that you lack. Clinical research shows that confidence is built through specific actions rather than being an inherent personality trait. Approaching someone is a mechanical skill. We can break it down into a sequence of 4 learnable steps that align with how the human brain processes social cues. By following this exact sequence, you can override your anxiety and initiate a real conversation, regardless of how you feel in the moment. Step 1 happens before you ever walk over. You have to warm the interaction before it actually begins. Psychologists call this social priming. When you walk up to someone unannounced, you force their brain to move from 0 to full social engagement with a stranger in 1 second flat, which creates a jarring emotional response. To bypass that reaction, offer a low-stakes micro-interaction first. Make brief eye contact, offer a small smile, or give a tiny nod. Keep it to exactly 1 second so you do not stare. You are simply letting their brain register you as a safe presence. This diagram compares the 2 approaches. A cold approach creates a sharp 90-degree spike in cognitive load because it acts as an interruption. The primed approach creates a smooth, gradual curve, allowing the brain to adapt comfortably. That 1 second of acknowledgement changes the emotional climate of the room. By the time you actually walk over, you are no longer a stranger interrupting their day. You are already someone they have noticed. Now you make the physical walkover to them. This is exactly when your internal panic typically peaks. Hiding your nerves consumes 80% of your mental bandwidth, leaving almost no capacity for conversation. The countermeasure is anxiety reappraisal. Acknowledging your nervousness out loud causes the physiological grip to drop to 0, instantly freeing your entire mental capacity. You do not need a smooth line. You need honesty. Lead with something like, "I'll be honest, I almost talked myself out of coming over here." Saying this out loud humanizes you to the receiver. It strips away any defensive tension because you are clearly not performing a script. Admitting you were nervous but came over anyway makes the other person feel uniquely chosen for who they are, rather than targeted by a rehearsed routine. With the introduction finished, your next goal is to shift the spotlight off of yourself and directly onto them. A common error here is trying to be impressive. That energy feels tense to the listener, and it introduces a pressure that often kills the interaction immediately. Instead, adopt a relaxed posture and ask unhurried questions. Do this because you want to learn about them, not to cue your next talking point. Research indicates that people who ask real questions are consistently perceived as more attractive and more intelligent than those who focus on bragging about themselves. Focus on finding out who they are. People are drawn to those who are genuinely interested in them, rather than those who are trying to be impressive. The final tactical piece of this framework happens only after the conversation is moving and they have willingly introduced themselves. Hearing one's own name activates a deeply personal response in the brain. It is an audio signal that triggers feelings of recognition, safety, and connection. Once you have their name, weave it naturally into your response. Do not force it into the initial greeting. Place it within a real thought, like, "That's actually a great point, Sarah." The critical rule here is to use it exactly once. Repeating their name rapidly triggers a feeling of being aggressively sold to. Executing that single, perfectly timed use of their name builds a level of personal connection in 2 minutes that many people fail to build in an hour. The 4 steps are now complete. You have successfully transitioned from being a stranger to having a flowing conversation. If you are still feeling hesitant, weigh the short-term fear of the approach against the long-term reality of regret. Walking away without saying anything and replaying the missed opportunity for days is the outcome that causes the most pain. The worst realistic scenario is a short, polite exchange that goes nowhere. The best scenario is making a connection you would have otherwise completely missed. Accept the 30 seconds of initial discomfort. Apply this blueprint today. The potential connection is worth the risk it takes to start it.